Hey tubers, just wanted to do a quick little repair video for you. What we have right here is the John Deere 14 SB lawnmower, and let me show you from the other side of the wheels. The wheels need to be replaced. Now there is a lot of hacks out there that will say that you can take some like bike, an actual bike tire, shred it up, wrap it around it and screw it on there to kind of do like a redneck fix to it. That might work, but if you got the money, then buy the replacement wheels. Just to give a little brief background, these wheels, if you buy them straight from John Deere, they're about $26 a piece. Now you may ask yourself, well, do I need a special set of rear wheels? Because Toro, you have to buy, the front wheels are different from the rears because the rears have the gear on it so that it works with the transmission. If you have a rear wheel drive push mower. But with these, what's really nice about the John Deere's is they have the holes in them, so you can actually just take the gear off the old wheel and put the gear on the new wheel. The gears on these are plastic, which I'm actually quite dissatisfied with because I figured they would at least have metal gears on them. But whatever. I just like the fact that I don't have to spend more money to buy special wheels to replace the rears. You can find these for a fairly decent price, other than John Deere. I would highly recommend going to. You can go to Bailey's. You can also even go on eBay. I purchased 4 wheels off eBay for $54.99, free shipping and handling, no tax. So I figured they're a great wheel. They're Oregon. Same setup as the other wheels. They do have bearings in the rear as well as in the front. So when I compare them to the actual John Deere wheels, they seem to be they look the same. And Oregon doesn't make bad products, they make really good products. So let's get started with the actual mower, with the wheel itself. Let's start with the front. Let's just tune in on here. As you can see, I'm sitting on a stool, which is actually quite nice. Let's get a little screwdriver. Now, the tools you're going to need to do the front wheels you're going to need a little pocket screwdriver because you always got to take out these center caps. You're going to need a 13mm socket, and you're also going to need a 9/16 inch wrench because, unfortunately, the nut on the back that holds these wheels is not captive in the actual part of the deck height adjustment frame because that's where the wheel is attached to. So you need a 9/16 inch wrench to take the wheel off, or you're just going to be spinning it the whole time. Now we just take the pocket screwdriver, we stick it right here because that's where the tabs are for the caps, and it makes it for quick and easy disassembly. I got the center cap out. I do have my 14.4 snap-on impact. It just makes it nice and quick. I attach this on, get it hooked on the bolt, get my wrench on the socket, on the nut. Comes right out. Now one thing you should take into notion, you will see a small little washer. Just make sure that you put that thing back in the right place. Now the rear wheel is going to be a little bit different, but oh wow. Looks like a piece of the bearing fell off. Little piece of the bearing fell off this one. That goes to show you that this wheel definitely needs to be replaced. But then you also do have your 9/16 nut See if we can shed some more light onto this. There we go. Fantastic. There's your 9/16 inch nut. Now, as far as installing the new wheel, there's nothing you really need. There's nothing extra. If you see a lot of built-up corrosive, kind of built-up crap on this, you can take it onto a wire wheel. Best thing to do is just take it, put the bolt on, and spin it. If it moves nice and freely, you really don't have to worry about that. It doesn't make a lot of whole excess. If you hear a lot of noise, then I would recommend pulling this little nut out with the sleeve and take the sleeve to a wire wheel or use a wire brush, and you'll take all that excess crap off of it. Just make sure you install the washer back on. One thing we'll do is we'll make sure we get the nut behind here. Now these can be a little finicky to put back on, so we'll just take our time. Because you really don't get a whole lot of breathing space. Put a little pressure on if you can, get the bolts and just push the nut all the way to the back of the frame of the deck. You can easily get the thread you can get the bolt on a couple threads of the nut, which then secures it, and all you do is you just grab your wrench, you hook it on the nut. There we go. And that's pretty much it for the front wheel. It seems to go on fine and smooth. We just put the center cap back on and that's it. And if you're lucky enough, you can actually find the center caps off eBay as well instead of going to the John Deere dealer. Because any money you can save from having to go to the dealer is always good. But there's always going to be things that the John Deere dealership has that, of course, you can't find on the internet. I'm trying to get this more into focus because it's kind of the finicky thing with John Deere dealerships. With John Deere, they do a very, very good job on trying to keep you from getting the parts. Now, just like with the front wheels, just like we do with the front wheel, we take the center cap off. Comes off nice. Now, the nice thing with this, the actual threads that will lock this wheel into place are actually built into the actual deck height adjustment assembly. So you don't have to worry about using your 9/16 inch wrench on this. There we go. Now with this one, you have two washers. You have a large washer and a small washer. And like I said, these are greasable, which is something I highly recommend that you do, is you grease these things up really, really good, because then it prolongs the life of the gears as well as the transmission itself. Now let's see if we can get some more light onto this. Right here is your rear wheel. With most wheels, you're going to have, with, you know, especially with Toros, you're going to see this. It's going to be a metal gear that you cannot replace. So that's why with Toro you have to get two front wheels, which are just like, kind of like these, you know, bare naked, and then you have to buy the rear wheels, which then have the gear on it. With this, you can easily just pop the gear off and put a new one on. One thing you always want to do is when you take this gear off is inspect the gear, make sure there's no broken teeth. Since it is plastic, that could be the case, because if you got broken teeth, the wheels are not going to drive very well. Take off your 13 millimeter. You're going to put on a 10 millimeter. And you don't have to necessarily use a deep socket for it. I just use it because because that was the first thing I picked out of my box. And you take these things, take the screws off. I mean the bolts off. As we can see from the bolt, it is, judging from the head, it is a self-tapper, self-threading, or self-tapper, so it actually taps the plastic for threads. And we take the gear out. I'm looking at the gear, looking to see if there's any kind of cracking, and I don't see anything, which is surprising, because if it serves me right, then these are the actual original gears from when this mower was made, which would probably be 1989, 1988. So, done with the wheel. Now let's get the new wheel out. Ooh, ah. All you gotta do is just match out the holes correctly. Yeah, I got a little bit of wipes to sort of help wipe the grease off, because the grease really was flowing on this one. So all we do is, as you can see, you can install these bolts in many different areas, but just use the same ones that were already used previously. It's on there pretty good, nice and snug. We don't want to over tighten it because we don't want to screw up the little holes inside the because everything in here is plastic, so it's breakable. So we got to be very careful on it. And judging with my experience, you know, eventually you'll get very good at knowing. You'll get really good at knowing when to torque it, how far to torque it down. Okay, so let's put the wheel back on. But we also got to remember we have the little washer is going to go first. Let's actually get the bolt in. Little washer is going to go first, and then the big washer is going to go on second. The big washer pretty much plays a role in actually holding over here. Let's just move it back to the mower. There's a plastic dust cover that helps secure the dust cover onto the actual deck itself, because you don't want to get a whole lot of dust inside this in the gears, because then that's just not going to be good. We finger tight it on. Then once we're done with the finger tight, we get back onto your socket wrench or impact or whatever you got. There we go. And all we do is we just take these tabs and just push them back in. And that's it. And that's how you change your wheels. And that's how you change your wheels for the specific model of the John Deere 14SB, the 14SE, SE, JX75, and JX85 lawnmower. They're all going to be the same. So if you got any questions, you can always send me a message, like, subscribe, favorite, and catch you later.